The most recent episode of Murder Drones gave us a crazy backstory involving Uzi's mother, so today we're going to talk about her, what exactly happened to destroy all the humans, and how she got the absolute solver. My name is Deepcut, hit that subscribe button, and before we jump into it, we're still selling autographed prints from your favorite Murder Drones voice actors. Link is in the pinned comment down below. We have Michael Kovac as Designation N, Elsie Lovelock as Uzi, Nola Klopp as Designation V, and Alana Fitzgerald as the absolute solver. Episode 3 had the gang going to prom, which was taken over by Doll, who went on a killing spree. We had previously seen that she had the absolute solver and some of its powers, and after defeating her, Uzi ended up taking her keys, which happened to be connected to a strange bracelet with a skull on it, similar to the collar Uzi wears around her neck with a skull on it. Episode 4 opened with Uzi showing these bracelets to her father, who was able to point out that the collars were worn by several of the worker drones after the explosion on Copper 9, as seen in the photos they had, with Uzi getting her number 2 bracelet from her mother, and Doll seemingly getting the number 48 bracelet from the robo-corpse of her mother. While fighting the Absolute Solver in Episode 2, it revealed to Uzi that her mother Nori was infected with the Absolute Solver by the time that Uzi was a baby, or an untrained neural network, one that had the Absolute Solver in it as well. The first episode of course showed to us the believed history of the drones, which is that they were mining Copper 9 for humans, it was destroyed in an accident the humans caused, and the drones inherited the planet. This seemed to inspire the idea on Earth to take the drones they had, turn them into self-terminating disassembly drones, and send them off to Copper 9, but this episode painted a very different picture of their history, something Jay alludes to not being accurate early on in the series. These cabins appear to be some sort of special training facility where the humans worked more closely with the drones. When a drone is first born, so to speak, it is an untrained neural network. For Uzi's generation, each kid is a blank memory slate and an untrained neural network that's given the base programming of its two parents, Khan and Nori in Uzi's case. Before this, they would have all had the same blank template and developed their personality more so based off of their original interactions with the world. One possibility is that this camp was largely used to train new neural networks in the way of working before being sent over to a mining facility. Considering the number on her collar being just 02, I think Nori was a worker drone who had trained specifically to work at the training facility, as opposed to one that was trained to go off to the mines. When her bracelet is scanned by one of the worker bugs, a series of options come up, including paid time off, indicating that Nori was a long-term staff member there. It also talks about ending suffering and torture chamber complaints, something likely alluding to a training or retraining method they had to keep worker drones in line when their AI gets too independent. While exploring the facility, N stumbles upon a tape called Zombie Drones, with a warning not to show robots as they will not like it. It is labeled, however, as a J.C. Jensen training tape. It was likely meant to be used on blank slate drones. N has a few memories in his head from before becoming a disassembly drone, but they are mostly wiped, allowing him to enjoy the carnage to some degree as we see in episode 1 with his thirst for oil. Nori thus was likely not meant to watch it, but considering there were menu options to end her existence and complain about torture chambers, I think Nori had developed enough independent thought to watch the video anyways, wanting to decide for herself what was wrong. After spending her working life working for humans and seemingly torturing drones as needed, she wanted to see what exactly the humans were using this training tape for if the drones were going to hate it. When N touches it, we see strange flashes, visions from when he watched it himself, I imagine, with cryptic clues about what's to come. One of the things he sees is a strange circle in the sky, something Uzi's mother Nori was scribbling all over papers found in her home and around the cabin. In addition to this, she was drawing monstrosities, evil tentacle monsters that looked quite a lot like strange creatures Uzi created when the Absolute Solver blew up an arrow. Now, the camp itself has a skull theme, so instead of it just being a basic training camp for all drones, it may also have just been a training camp put up specifically to start the training of zombie drones, with Uzi's mother Nori, as well as Doll's mother, being among the first batch of drones trained for this. The training tapes would thus be something they are meant to watch themselves, but only after a certain amount of development perhaps, making sure they were obedient enough before giving them the tape, as if they saw it too early, like Nori seems to have, she may have rebelled. After seeing the training tape, Nori would realize that the humans were planning a mass destruction of all drones, either because previous AI had run out of control, or because the mining of the exoplanets had set the humans' needs up for the foreseeable future. Regardless of their reasons, this would traumatize Nori, and she would quickly establish a rebellion, likely leading to destruction of humans on Copper 9, with Nori and Doll's mother, along with other rebel drones, causing the explosion. Despite this, Nori would know that the drones were still scheduled for extermination. She would be smart enough to realize that humans would send more murder drones from elsewhere in the galaxy, and that all she had done was really delay the inevitable. Following the rebellion, Khan notes that he didn't piece together how so many drones had skull-themed collars, as he was focused on his feelings for Nori romantically, something the drones wouldn't have been able to explore while under the control of humans. While Khan and Nori would marry and create Uzi, Nori would also beg Khan to create doors to stop the oncoming invasion of sky demons, as she called them. She also spoke of a singularity, something related to this circle image, as well as the spiral that is found in the artwork as well. In tech, the singularity event is when technology progresses so far that it irreversibly changes human existence. This is often used in sci-fi stories to talk about an artificial intelligence that controls humans, but can also refer to technology that one human can use to control the rest. Here in the show, that appears to be the Absolute Solver. This appears as a backup program for the disassembly drones, such as when Jay was destroyed, but she claims that they are all just her little puppets. The Absolute Solver likely started as a backup program involved in the zombie drones extermination plan, but because of how advanced it is trying to work exactly within its programmed allowance to create some sort of future where it can escape and take full control. This would make Absolute Solver so advanced that she can exploit the logic of her own rules in order to change the outcome of events to one that will eventually set her free. Based off of the slow descent of Uzi and Doll into their zombification, it would seem that the zombie drones are something more like sleeper drones, ones meant to run among the population of drones but slowly become corrupt over time and begin killing the others. Perhaps this singularity event was meant to be a moment where the Absolute Solver had properly infected every single worker drone, creating a linked consciousness that the Absolute Solver controls. This would allow her to destroy all the drones at once perhaps, but with the right exploitations first, could present an opportunity for the Absolute Solver to exist as a hive mind among all the drones, making them all her puppets, as she says, without having to destroy their bodies. Khan would ignore Nori's warnings, it would seem, and when N Squad first arrive, they would end up killing Uzi's mother as well as Doll's parents and perhaps other drones. Doll and Uzi would then inherit their mother's bracelets, which I believe is what gave them the coding of the Absolute Solver, which has slowly been developing over time. While it's possible that the Absolute Solver was passed on when the mothers gave part of their base programming to their offspring, the camera zooms out from Uzi's collar just as the Absolute Solver activates in episode 3, protecting her from Doll's Absolute Solver attack. This indicates that the bracelets are really what causes the Absolute Solver to be passed on, and because it takes time to integrate, the bracelets need to be worn for a long time. Doll also indicated that Uzi's Absolute Solver was much worse than hers, perhaps explaining why in the most recent episode Uzi went through a horrifying transformation compared to the one Doll has gone through so far, as there appears to be no signs of life coming from Doll's strange explosions or wings such as Uzi has. It makes me wonder if one drone is being chosen as the true vessel for the Absolute Solver, giving them power beyond the other drones. As far as its use in extermination goes, this may have been done to blast the drones, such as Uzi blasts the arrow that comes at her, exploding it into a living organism. These horrific monsters would die out fast, making it a quick way to convert the drones into something else fast, as opposed to trying to destroy them with explosives or other such weapons, which we know wouldn't work because of the explosion of Copper 9 that they all survived. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and don't forget to check out our Streamly shop for more signed prints of your favorite Murder Drones characters, and I'll see you guys next time.